FPL Game Week 4 is approaching, the international break is over, and we've seen over 580,000 wildcard chips activated, which is actually the ninth highest of all time. So today we'll be going through another wildcard draft, profiling the ideal players, structure, and also place the target for the upcoming wildcard window. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe if you'd like to see more. So let's get to it. What's up? Welcome back to FPL Vert, where arrows go green. And it's another wildcard draft video following on from last week. So I thought I would show you how it would have done. And it scored 90 points, which is actually better than my own team. So, obviously a wildcard is not for just 1 week. It's not free hit, it's for a number of weeks. But it's always great to get off to a good start. As I mentioned, over 580,000 wildcard chips have been activated. I personally still don't think it's the right time. I think, given it's a 38 game week season, there's still a lot of European football to start. We don't know how rotation is going to impact. We also don't have enough data in the league. We've got 3 weeks of data. We don't know which teams are strong, which teams are weak, which teams to target, etc., etc. So I will not be activating my wildcard once again. But seeing as it's all the rage at the moment, thought I might as well do it as like an exercise to see which players are to be targeting, and also which windows to target as well. Because obviously Game Week 4 is a bit of a weird one. You've got Arsenal going away to Spurs, you've got Brentford going away to City, and they go away to Spurs next week as well. But we can still look. So starting with the draft, as mentioned, it's not in my opinion the best game week to wildcard into, because a lot of the players that you would want to own for long term do not have good fixtures in this particular week. And that's true for Flecken. He goes away to Man City, but from game week 6 they have favourable fixtures that you'd want to own them for. So for this week, if you're going to wildcard, I'd personally get Flecken, aim for saves, and just move on. Next, obviously, it's Trent. I've seen a lot of talk on whether Robertson is a better option because he's cheaper, but I have to respectfully disagree. I mean, when you watch Trent, he's honestly incredible, probably one of the best players in the world at the moment. He has so many tools at his disposal to impact a game with his passing, range of passing, and his level of creativity is among the best, let alone for defenders. So obviously he is ranked number 1 for big chances created as well as key passes. So the way I see it, he's a creative midfielder who benefits from clean sheet points, which is pretty handy considering Liverpool now have 3 clean sheets on the bounce following their fairly straightforward win at Old Trafford. And they've also conceded the second highest XG, and as well as producing the second highest XG in the world in the league. So very strong team at the moment. 2 successive games at home to Forest and Bournemouth. Can't really ask for much more. He's also received back-to-back Man of the Match awards playing for England. So are you listening, Southgate? Then it's Lewis Dunk, who's next. This is a fixture play. Brighton host Ipswich and Forest at home, back-to-back. The fixtures do turn after that, but of course you can rotate with the defenders that we'll have. Robertson has returned back-to-back assists. No clean sheets yet for Fulham, but he actually is only behind Trent for big chances created, so he's a great budget option at his price. Salah, of course, yes, we can admit we all got it wrong, or I did anyway. Should have never doubted him. He's the number 1 asset along with Haaland so far, with 41 points in the opening 3. So he's a standout option to captain in game week 5. I'll actually be selling him, and you'll see what this team would look like in game week 6, because while Liverpool started very well, I do think this is an opportunity to jump on to Salah while Saka goes away to Tottenham as well as Man City next week. So this is a 2-week punt, if you want to put it that way. But as for Salah, he's only behind Haaland for goals with 3, and he's also has a league leading chance of 4 big chances created, which is level with Brian Mbeumo, who you might see on the bench right now. Semenyo and Eze rank 1st and 2nd respectively in the league for shots per game, which is even more than Haaland. So they're pretty good options given their price as well as fixtures. Semenyo is actually returning each of the opening 3 game weeks, and he hosts a Chelsea side that actually haven't kept a clean sheet yet, so could be potential there. Eze is hosting Leicester. Of course, he hasn't been too impressive in the opening 3, but he did manage a 10-pointer at Chelsea for scoring. and then Palmer and Jackson managed to get yellow, which took down their bonus. So Eze scooped all the bonus, but yeah, at that price you can't really argue too much. Rodgers can count himself pretty unlucky to not have at least an assist so far. Walker's has squandered both of the big chances that he's created this season, but he hosts Everton, that are currently the most open defence. They've conceded 10 goals in the opening 3, and they travel to Aston Villa, which seems like a pretty daunting task for them right now. He's a pretty incredible 5.1 million enabler. He starts for a Champions League team, and he pretty much gets 90 minutes every game. So what's not to like, really? Jackson, I mean, this spot could be Muniz or Wood, but I'll go for Jackson because it would be good to get a slice of this Chelsea attack if you're on a wild card. He's got 3 attacking returns in his last 2 after blanking against Man City, which is understandable. And he has a decent set of fixtures until game week 8, when Chelsea travel to Anfield to face Liverpool. João Pedro, he did get a late call up to the Brazil squad, and he played 45 minutes in the second half against Paraguay and lost against his teammate Ciso, which I'm sure will be interesting when they get back. And he's currently on his way back from Paraguay, and they're flying to the UK this morning as we speak. And he's actually currently the most transferred in assets in the game, with over 800,000 new owners. So, you know, he now hosts an Ipswich side that's conceded the most big chances and XG in the league so far. There's a great potential there. Haaland, I mean, if you're wildcarding and you don't own Haaland, I mean, I don't know what you're playing at, if I'm very honest. His level of scoring doesn't actually make sense. He's averaging every 8.625 matches in the Premier League. You know, he's level with the likes of Henry and Michael Owen for hat-tricks in the Premier League as well. So honestly, I think if you're now not going on that Haaland, you must have an agenda. I'm going to be very honest. I don't think there's much to even discuss about captaincy this week. He hosts Brentford side, you know, that look pretty open, and especially when the other only real option in this team would be Salah. You know, Nottingham Forest haven't been that open defensively. Obviously, you expect Liverpool to score, but I don't think there's any other place to look, if I'm honest. And then we go to Brian and Bruno. As I mentioned, you know, this is getting him in position if you're going to wildcard now. I mean, you could start him against City, I guess, but I don't think you'd choose to. And then he would start with Semenyo next week anyway, as Bournemouth travel to Liverpool. And Brian and Bruno goes to Spurs, which I don't think anyone would mind playing him for. Gabriel as well, like him, not the best fixture. Neither is next week, but from game week 6, and you'll see in this wildcard what will look like in game week 6, and then Reeves is just a decent set piece threat, and he's a playing that sub, so let you have him. So when we speak about wildcard windows, I think game week 6, if you were to activate it, would make more sense. I still won't be doing it in game week 6 as I have sort of planned to have the right fixtures at the time. But you know, you definitely will want to own a triple up of Arsenal. They will face Leicester at home, Southampton at home, and then go away to Bournemouth in a run of 3 games. So I do think you'd want to, you know, jump on Saka as well as Havertz. So we'd be selling Saka and João Pedro to bring in both Saka and Havertz. And we'd also obviously rotate Bruno in. Rodgers could be benched because I think, you know, when Champions League starts, we don't know what his minutes are going to look like. Obviously, you know, if someone else is performing, or if he is performing, someone like Eze isn't, then of course, you know, he can start over him. But this is how the team would look, and I think, you know, going forward, this is sort of what most teams will look like in game week 6, I'd imagine. At least Saka, probably the best captain, but I think, you know, at the moment we can't really take the captaincy of Haaland. So that's what I'd go with at the moment. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, and we'll be back for team selection. Thanks.